Oh, hey you guys! How are you all doing? My name is Lauren. Welcome to all of you who are here live, or if you're catching the replay. I know that sometimes people catch the replay. And so you may not know this about me, but one of the things that I do, or that I get to do in my life, is that I help women address difficulties, frustrations, irritations, in the ways, I guess, mostly that they feel stuck. I help them get to the root of what those issues are, and then we flip the script on them. And one of my favorite things to do is to help women transform their frustrations or the ways in which they're stuck into freedom and opportunities for them and their families. And so today, I wanted to chat to you guys as I sit in my car waiting for my oldest daughter to be done with her vision therapy, or her assessment, I guess, her evaluation. What I wanted to talk to you guys today, and I care so much about this that I've got notes, okay? It's a big thing for me, is today is all about 3 things that my fellow mothers need to know if they are struggling to give themselves permission to follow their dreams, or quite frankly, just to be who they are. And so if you struggle with guilt and shame about the things that you love to do, about the passions and talents and the purposes that you have in your life, if you feel guilt and shame about pursuing those things, and especially if you feel guilt and shame about pursuing those things at the risk of your children, then you need to stay and you need to listen to what I have to say. And I'm going to start by sharing something that just recently happened to me in my own motherhood, that really opened my eyes again to how important it is that we do not abandon ourselves, and that we do not abandon who we are, that we do not abandon what we're called to do on this earth, that we do not abandon our purposes and our gifts and all the amazing things that we are outside of motherhood. And basically what happened was last week Friday, so Kayla, my oldest, she is nearly 9, I think. Jeez, how old? She has vision therapy. She goes to vision therapy every single Friday. And she goes to vision therapy in a part of town in Waco that is just really beautiful and fun to be in. She goes downtown. And just up the street from where she goes to vision therapy is a beautiful art gallery. And I love the art gallery. When I have a moment and I'm downtown, I just love to walk. I just love to be in the art gallery because I find it so moving and inspiring. And if you know me, you may have noticed that I have been known to have a little bit of an artistic flair. But what you don't know about me is that is a part of me that I have struggled to accept. I grew up receiving messages about creativity and being an artist that were like, that is a hobby, not even a side hustle. It is something that kids do. Kids go for art lessons, not grown-ups. You need a real job, and then in your spare time, if it's not too indulgent, you can do the art stuff, you can do the creativity stuff. And so really, aside from my upbringing, a lot of my theology as well, this was not explicit, this was implicit. The messages I got about being creative, about indulging my creative side, this is also true of my entrepreneurial side. This is also true of the side of me that gets really inspired and wants to do new big things. I grew up spiritually, so I only really became a Christian in my late teens. But the implicit message that my theology at the time gave me was that side of me was indulgent and a waste. And so I've struggled to accept that part of me. So anyway, my daughter tells me on Friday, or she begs me to please take her to the art gallery on Friday afternoon after vision therapy. And I obliged because I love the art gallery, but I wondered about why she wanted to go there. And basically, while we were walking through the art gallery looking at all this art, she took a step back and she looked at me, she put her hand on her chest like this, and she said, "Mama, I'm feeling something really beautiful just by being here. And then she looked at the artwork and she said, Mama, I can feel what this person was feeling when they were creating this piece. Do you see? And she pointed out, do you see these brush strokes? Can you see how they were feeling? And then she described what she thought or what she perceived that they would be feeling. And then as we walked, she said, man, she says, Mom, I feel so inspired. Thank you so much for being here. And up until that moment, with the exception of a couple of adults in my life, like friends, I had never met a single other person who had such a visceral reaction to art as me, like the same as me, as my daughter just had standing next to me in that gallery. And so this is the moment that like blew my mind. And that when I realized how my pretending to not be artistic was doing my daughter a disservice. That my not indulging this frivolous, as my friend Jessica likes to say, she doesn't mean it that way, this frivolous pastime or this frivolous part of who I am actually hurts her, because now she doesn't have an adult that I know of in her life that can show her what artistry means, that can show her what creativity means, that can show her that the creative path is a valid path. I hear my notes. And so here's what I realized, and this is what I know, but it was like on Friday, that just as much as our children are given to us as gifts, I believe wholeheartedly that we as mothers are given to our children. We are gifts to our children. And just as much as our children are chosen for us, for our journeys in life and our sanctification journeys, I believe that we as mothers have been chosen for our children. That we are gifts to them on their journey. And what the second thing that I realized is that as a result of that, being fully who we are is what they need. And you know, I grew up, and as I became a mother, I really valued my children having an education experience where they would be surrounded by at least a few passionate teachers. You know, those teachers that are absolutely passionate about the field of study or the subject that they teach. Whether or not I was particularly interested or not didn't make a difference. I actually do still love being around people who are overwhelmed with passion for whatever it is that they're involved in. And so what I realized on Friday is that me being completely overwhelmed and given to the things that I am passionate about, being completely, literally indulging in the parts of me of who I was made to be, my gifts and my talents, and all those things, that I give the same gifts to my children as the teachers, as any other teacher in their life who is passionate about their subject. And I don't know why, but it's like the implicit message is that us as mothers are only allowed to be passionate about our kids and our marriages. That to be passionate about and Jesus, and to be passionate about anything else does them a disservice, is selfish or frivolous and indulgent. But that's not the experience I had, and I don't think any of us have had, with really passionate teachers that we've had in our lives. And I think we owe it to our children to have passions, to care about stuff, to give our time to things that are not them, to give our time and our energy to make investments into growing who we are and how we, to develop and nurture those gifts that we have in our lives, because I think it's inspiring to them. I think it rubs off on them. And the last thing that I wanted to say is that our courage, our passion leaves an impact on our children, but I think our courage leaves an impact on our children too. And I realized standing in that gallery that all the fear that I experience when I think about walking away from a more traditional career path, and I do feel overwhelmed with fear like that a lot of the time, especially recently, that my fear, or my overcoming my fear, or my moving past my fear, or me moving forward in spite of my fear, leaves an impression on my kids too. For those of you guys who are just joining, my name is Lauren, and I'm talking to you guys about motherhood and giving ourselves permission to pursue passions and gifts and dreams in our lives that are not just motherhood, marriage, and Jesus. And so if you struggle with guilt and shame around who you are and the things that you care deeply about and the things that just light you up and fill you with fire on the inside, then this live is for you. And so far I've spoken about how, as much as our children are gifts to us and are chosen for us, I believe that we are chosen for our children, that who we are in our uniqueness, that who we are in our individuality, that who we are in our divine concoction of strengths, gifts, abilities, and passions is a gift and has been intentionally chosen for our children, and that we do them a disservice when we deny them of those gifts. Likewise, the second point was that being fully who we are is what our children need, not some sanitized, palatable, stereotypical version, of ourselves that we feel like society wants us to be. And thirdly, and that our uniqueness and our willingness to be who we are, I believe inspires our kids, and our ability to be courageously who we are leaves an impression and inspires our kids as well. If you hopped on late, you're always welcome to catch the replay. It should be available in a couple of minutes. And if you'd like to hear more, I'll be back here on Facebook on Thursday at around 2 p.m. and I'm going to share with you guys the difference between having priorities and procrastinating, because sometimes they look like the same thing. And so a lot of the times we accuse ourselves of procrastinating some things, but I like to think a lot of the time that I'm just choosing my priorities. And so I'll be back on Thursday at 2 p.m. to talk about that Central Time. And if you have any ideas about topics that you'd like me to cover in my lives, I'm going to be doing this more regularly, because I think the internet can be a wonderful place, and that I just want to play my part in making it a more inspiring, helpful spot, to be. Then please feel free to text me, to DM me, PM me, put some suggestions in the comments. I'd be happy to take them. Otherwise, if you'd love to hear more information about this, and specifically if anything I said today resonated with you, and you'd like to learn how to enjoy a version of motherhood that feels like... Okay, so you wouldn't believe my phone just overheated, even though I've got the AC on. Welcome to Texas in June. It's not even really summer yet, but my phone just nearly exploded. So like I was saying, I don't know what this video is going to be like now, but what I was trying to say is that if you'd like to see more videos or content like this, if anything I said today resonated with you, if you are like, okay, but how do I enjoy motherhood? How do I get past this guilt and mom shame monster? How do I even take the first steps towards allowing myself to be myself, I guess? Then I'd like to invite you to join the Facebook group that I have started to moderate. Like I said in the description of this video, it is amazing, and it's for women like you. And so there's a ton of training, free resources, incredible community, and I'd love for you to be there. So if that's you, join us. If not, that's okay, and I will catch you on Thursday.